Word, son. What do you do, YouTube? It's your boy, Jay Divine. All right, man, before we get into this video, make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, share the word, spread the links, because you know how I do. If you haven't already, you can hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon so you're notified every time I upload. Without further ado, let's get up into it. All right, man. First of all, happy holidays, man. Hopefully y'all had a great Christmas. If you don't celebrate it, hopefully you just had some good time to, relax, eat some food, or just, like I said, get you some rest. You know what I mean? But hopefully everybody had a good and safe holidays. And, yeah, man, I'm back into it, man. So we're going to try to finish this year up strong. So without further ado, let's get up into it. So after I finally hit max level 250 and I played a good handful of shipment, I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. Like, I'm about ready to, I don't say retire, but I'm ready to put down Modern Warfare 2 as of currently right about now and start playing, Battlefield, Insurgency, Sandstorm, Hell Let Loose. I'm just ready to go back to the other first person shooters and just kind of cleanse my palate of Modern Warfare 2. Because aside from like doing gun camos and just trying to hit max level, playing shipment a good handful amount of times has shown me how unbalanced and how unfinished this game was to be released. Now I want to start from the beginning of everything. So I'm gonna start at the top of the list. And for me, especially when it comes to playing shipment, there has been an abundance of abuse for flashbangs. Now I've made several videos talking about this one time before, but just to reiterate, flashbangs, the logic behind them it's not right for what it's supposed to be. How come in Modern Warfare 19 that y'all have it correct for that? If I throw a flashbang and it's right in front of me, right, and I'm looking at it and it goes off, I'm flash, my screen is white, whoop-de-doo. But if it's thrown to the left or right of me or anywhere out of my field of vision, there should be no reason as to why it still blinds my screen. In Modern Warfare 19, they did that right. You see what I'm saying? But in Modern Warfare 2, when guys are throwing flashbangs behind me, and I have several clips of people throwing flashbangs behind me or somewhere out of my field of view, and it's still completely white out my screen. Like, why was that not addressed or somewhat tweaked for Season 1 Reloaded? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's so frustrating to play in shipment and all you do is throw flashbangs. I throw them too. I can't sit there and say that I don't, because then I'll be a hypocrite. But, I've had more success throwing smoke grenades and just catching them with the element of surprise. You know what I mean? But anyway, the flashbangs, man, it's not even tactical anymore. It's just abuse. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense for a flashbang to get thrown behind me and it's still white out my screen. Like, that's what makes it to the point where people can abuse it, because they know as long as they get a hit marker to say that flash went off and it hit somebody, it don't matter whether it's in front of you, behind you, left, right, somewhere down the block somewhere. It don't matter. If you're in the general area of where that flashbang went off at, regardless if you're looking at it or not, it's still going to blind your entire screen out. And I've had games where guys are throwing 3 or 4 flashbangs at a time and my screen was still whited out, like just completely flashing. If somebody had epilepsy, bro, they probably would have died. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not even trying to joke about people who have that condition, but I'm just saying that's how bad it is in this game. Now, I know you can put on a perk of like battle hardening, if I'm not mistaken. You can put that on and that's supposed to limit the time that you're flashed, but it's like, what's the use though? It's not the duration of when I'm stunned. It's just how I get stunned or get flashed. It has nothing to do with how long I'm flashed. It's just whenever they throw flashbangs and I'm not looking at it. That's the issue I have. That's a big problem. So the flashbangs are just, it's abuse at this point. And another thing that I can't stand is, especially in somewhere where it's a lot of CQB action, I can't stand the fact that all player models are solids. It bugs the living hell out of me. The fact that every time I'm running somewhere and somebody else is running maybe across, or I spawn inside of a shipping container and I'm trying to get out, and you got guys, sitting in a safe space trying to make sure, oh, well, is it safe to come out now? Like, you got guys that'll literally sit there and I'm blocked in for like a small little period of time. And even though you can still kind of walk through them as a semi-solid player model, it makes no sense to make it to where every friendly is a solid player model. How come in Cold War I can go around and run through my friendlies with no problem, not get stuck on them, no nothing. If I get stuck, then that's just on me for not seeing what object was in the way, or if I try to go into a doorway and I didn't hit the angle properly, like that's on me. I don't mind that part. But the fact that friendlies are solid objects and that gets in the way, that is determining whether or not I die or I live, or if I'm trying to get out somewhere. Say for example, somebody throws a flashbang, a grenade, or a Simtex or a thermite. I can't get out of the way in time because you got somebody who's standing in front of me who is a solid player model until the game gets the idea that, oh, he's trying to run out of wherever he's trapped in at because there's a guy in front of him. But by that time, it's too late. I'm already dead at that point. He didn't already got him a triple or double or whatever it is. Like we need to have, I don't know if it's transparent, translucent, or we need to have player models or have friendlies not be solid objects. Because why would you allow shipment to come out knowing the fact that it's a bunch of CQB, everybody's in close quarters, contact with everybody? Why would you allow it to where still solid player models are completely fine in shipment? Like maybe just in shipment, you can make it to where friendlies aren't solids. You know what I'm saying? Enemies, they can be solid. That's totally fine because that's an actual enemy. I don't mind a solid enemy. I don't mind that part. But friendlies, you gotta make it to where you can run through them. You got to. And then on to the next point, as far as like, semi-solid or just make it to where you can go through them. I want to say transparent. Let's say transparent, translucent, whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. But another thing that I can't stand in this game, honestly, man, Riot shields are just a joke in this game. And I'm not even saying it from the perspective of trying to get camos and stuff like that, or the nerf that they got. Riot shields aren't tactical in Call of Duty. I'm gonna just call it out here. They're not tactical. They're just not. Y'all confuse tactical with cheese. Rainbow Six is a tactical game. I ran shields like crazy in Rainbow Six. That's what I did. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you have people like Rook or Blitz. Like Rook is literally like, that's a strategizing player that you have to be able to run with, because he has an ability, I'm going off topic now, but he has an ability that makes it where he can extend himself for a full shield, and you either use that to get into an objective, or you use that to draw the fire away from wherever this enemy is at, especially if he's looking at the door. Like you'll say, for example, like if you gotta go through this door and that's what the objective is, there's one guy in there and he's watching that door, I can tell Rook to go in and shield himself entirely to draw the fire away from him so we can get inside this objective. And then when I walk in behind him, I guess he not knowing that I'm behind him, when I walk in behind him, I see my enemy turned and looked at Rook. I can go in and pop him in the round, or I can just try to keep him at base so we can overpower him and take over the objective. You see what I'm saying? Now back to Modern Warfare 2, Riot shields have never been that tactical. You know what I'm saying? Like you can use it in a tactical way, but honestly, Riot shields just aren't tactical. This is not supposed to be a tactical game. So my thing is, the amount of people who have had Riot shields on their back while they're using other weapons, it is disgusting. It is completely 100% disgusting. I have either gotten killed or have had kills taken away from me because I've had friendlies on my team that have had Riot shields on their backs, and my shots are hitting their Riot shields and counting as if that's an enemy Riot shield or just a Riot shield on somebody's back. And my shots are getting deflected because of the fact that his Riot shield on his back is deflecting anything that hits him. And that means anything, whether it be friendly or enemy. You see what I'm saying? So as many times as I've had guys lay down on the ground doing the whole turtle shell thing, I understand that proning is supposed to make you a harder to hit target, but the fact that you got guys able to have a Riot shield that covers the entire back of their head and covers the lower half of their body all the way down to damn near the ankles, the fact that you guys allow this as a way to play and people use this as a way, it's like a safe way to traverse through the game without having to get shot in the back. Like I can't stand it. I hate it. It's such a cheese tactic. It's almost like it's in the same category as having safe spaces in shipment. It's almost like the same kind of category, because I've seen so many people run it with no regard for human life whatsoever. it's cheesy. Like, I can't get with it. I just can't get with it. I don't see no other reason to use a Riot Shield in Modern Warfare 2 other than to either just troll or to try to get the camos with it. But as far as being tactical, there's no use for tactical. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but I don't see the use of it being tactical in this game. And honestly, if guys are going to run Riot Shield, y'all need to make it to where they can only run Riot Shields. That's it. You can't have Riot Shields as a secondary, even if you run overkill. Like, you shouldn't be able to do that. I hate it so much. Like, why would you allow somebody to have the ability to cover their back with the Riot Shield? Not only that, say for example, if I see somebody, right, I see him running, I can't hit him like I want to. I have to aim at this man's feet in order for me to get a kill. If he not bending over, or if they're not looking over or in a way where the rest of their body isn't covered, I have to aim at this man's feet. And I'm wasting a lot of ammo trying to hit this man in his feet, because you know how the game's hit detection be sometimes. I hate it, man. I really, really hate it. I can't stand that. This game is not as tactical as people are trying to make it out to be. And people are going to try to find a way to excuse that kind of gameplay to try to say, oh, that's being tactical. If you can't get with it, I mean, you know, just find something else to play. You're just not good. Get better. Adapt. Adjust. That's what a lot of people are going to say. And I'm not going to entertain any of you, to be completely honest with you. But you know, aside from that and the spawns and shipment being terrible, I'm constantly getting shot in the back. And, you know, you spawn guys. As soon as I die to somebody, or if I kill somebody, you spawn that same man who I just shot back behind me. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many things that's wrong with this game, G. And it's like, we got, I think, little less or little over 30 something days, maybe another month, or maybe a month and a half, or a month and a few days of this game. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, G, like, once I hit 250, I think I'm really done. You know, I don't care for Warzone. The whole 2v2 in the gulag thing, that's the stupidest thing you guys could have ever done, especially for like solos. Like, if it was solo 1v1s, and then it was like duos, trios, quads, 2v2, okay, fine, that's totally fine. I could get that at that point. But the fact that I have to go in here and let alone I have to go in here and rely or I have to carry somebody in a 2v2, and then we got some juggernaut jailer that comes through. If we kill him, we all spawn back. It's like, bro, I don't want to do a 2v2. 1v1 in the gulag was perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? It's either me or him. I liked it better that way. I don't like the fact that everybody could come back if we all team up and hit the jailer. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, y'all got to stop touching the fact that there's a new formula, or the same formula that I was working before. You've got to stop doing that, man. I can't stand when you guys always take something and try to twist it and turn it, and you got people saying, oh, well, you know, it's not that bad. You know, I don't see a problem with it. Jesus, it's just the bootlickers that get on my nerves, bro. Like, you guys are just the most apologetic people because you see Call of Duty can do nothing wrong in your eyes. And it's like, if you honestly think that, please stay away from this video and in my comment section, because I don't have time for the idiotic, childish bickering back and forth trying to convince somebody that can't be convinced why Call of Duty is the way it is and why it's bad in its areas, because you guys don't see nothing wrong with it, you know. So aside from that, you know, the perk system, I don't know why the perk system is just so, like, it can be so much better, bro. Like, why would you guys make perks exclusive to base 1, base 2, bonus, and then ultimate? Why would you make that a thing, bro? Why? That's not balance. Balance is allowing people to have any and every, there we go, that's what I'm looking for, any and every way to set up their classes that'll help them in a gunfight or help them as a player, whatever it is. We want to have everything at our disposal to use, at the same exact time having a level of balance to it. But just having specific perks for said slots, and then, like, bro, it doesn't make sense. So in Warzone, we can't even have a custom perk set because they trying to establish some sort of balance. A lot of the perk sets that they got, I don't really see them being as balanced as they are. I don't really see it. I would feel more comfortable if I were allowed to have a custom perk. But still, even then, we still got one obstacle that we need to figure out to get around first is the fact that you have custom perk, you have not custom perks, you have perks in slot 1 and 2, ultimate and then bonus, or bonus and then ultimate. You are allowing people to you're not even allowing people to have a full array of perks that we can use. And like I said before in one video, I talked about the perks. I said you can put anything you want, base 1, 2, bonus, and ultimate. But however, if you put, let's say Ghost, if you put Ghost in ultimate, you can't have it in base 1. If you put Ghost in base 1, you can't have it in ultimate. You know what I'm saying? And like each slot is allowed to have any perk that they want, and it helps them. You see what I'm saying? If I wanted to have Harden in base 1, right? Harden allows you to have what's that called? It allows you to have a shorter, stun time or whatever the case is, right? Say for example, okay, you don't want it in base 1 or 2, but you want it ultimate. If I have Harden in ultimate perk, it should make me immune to flashes, immune to stuns, immune to shot grenades, or something that it makes me immune to versus it being in a regular base perk. You see what I'm saying? Like, we need to have that array of customization when it comes to perks. And I don't think people quite understand it. They just take anything that Infinity Ward gives them and they act like they're not well intelligent enough to speak on it and see where it can be improved at. I can't stand it, man. And but as far as that go, man, like that's really where my mind is at now. So I'm really just ready to put this down, go play Sandstorm, Battlefield, Hell Let Loose. Just go play something else other than Call of Duty, because it's quite obvious that Infinity Ward or Activision, whoever's in charge, you guys just don't really know exactly what is important and what isn't. But I find it messed up that the Battle Pass portion of the stuff works. The storefront works. Anytime we want to buy a skin or the Battle Pass, everything regarding that works perfectly fine. But as far as the other UI goes, UI is terrible. You know what I'm saying? Still convoluted. You still got times where the game will crap out and it'll kick you out of certain menus. You still got parties not being able to stay inside of parties and getting kicked out. You go to the next menu. It's just so much wrong with this game. And I feel like Season 1 Reloaded should have been like the redemption factor right there. That should have been a time where they could redeem themselves. But, in classic Activision Infinity Ward fashion, this is what we get. So at this level in time right now, man, I hit level 250. I got everything I needed to get. I don't really care for Warzone, especially they're not tracking stats, which I don't even care about. It's just so much that they need to do in order for this game to get right. And I'm just not finna just muddle through the BS just to try to enjoy a game. Because if I got to do that, then I'm really not enjoying the game. I'm having to do more just to enjoy it instead of just taking the game for what it is. But yeah, that's really how I feel, man. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, man. I'm going to get up out of here. Make sure to like button, comment, subscribe, share the word, spread the links, because you know how I do. But I'm going to get up out of here, man. It's your boy Jay Divine, and I'm signing out. Peace.